Alright, all, you know what time it is. Last of the big ones. We're tapping 16 mana here. We are casting Final Fantasy 16 Magic the Gathering Character Color Combination Predictions. If you are new here, my name is Dean Dane. I am going through all of the mainline Final Fantasy games, and we are going and kind of deciding and guessing what color combinations we think all the characters are going to be in the upcoming Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy set in June. Without further ado, let's crack in. Final Fantasy XVI came out in 2023. How has it already been 2 years? That is insane. It features an entirely new action-based combat system and really kind of focuses on one guy. There's some other characters, and we will get into that in a little bit, but really just one main character for the majority of the game. F15 was a non-linear story with open-world aspects, whereas Final Fantasy XVI is a linear progression-style game. Sure, people liked this version, but they hated 13. Yeah, totally makes sense. Wild. But each character has a summon that they can transform into called an icon. E-I-K-O-N. And their icon is special. It's the summons we're familiar with from the other Final Fantasy games. Shiva, Ifrit, Bahamut, Odin, Phoenix, Garuda, Titan, Ramu, to be specific to this game. This one's going to be a little bit odd on the Magic the Gathering side of thing, as the game plays like no other Final Fantasy game really out there, thus far anyway, and most characters use swords. So, yeah, get ready for that. Let's jump in. Here are our cast of characters. We're going to start with this handsome guy in the front here. This is Clive Rosfeld. He's the main character. He is the dominant of Ifrit. He uses swords in combat, specifically one big flamey one. He's mainly a close-up combat expert, and his moveset can be customized so the player can kind of decide how they want him to play, but typically speaking, close-up combat is kind of his deal. Being the dominant of fire, I think black and red is a perfect color combination for him, especially when we look at his brother, who is here. This is Joshua Rosfeld. He's Clive's brother, as I mentioned, the dominant of Phoenix, another fire-based icon. Uses swords in combat as well. I'm thinking white-red works really well for him to kind of be a foil between the two, right? To be a complement or a converse, if you will, where he's black-red, he's white-red, just to kind of play off of that dynamic. I think that's really, really cool. Next up is Jill Warwick. She is best girl, I won't hear otherwise. Childhood friend of Clive, dominant of Shiva, uses swords and ice powers in battle, and can heal. White-blue, Shiva special, nothing fancy here. Shiva and Jill, best girls. For me, at least. Torgal, who's this little puppy here, doesn't stay little for very long, is a literal wolf. Clive's BFF, if you will. He can bite and heal. He's found at the beginning of the story and grows up with the main character, which I think is really cool. I'm thinking he's green and red. Typical wolf shenanigans. Best boy, for sure. Here we have, down at the bottom here, this is Sidolphus. No, I can't call him that. I can't take Sidolphus seriously. This is Sid. This is Sid Telemon. He's the dominant of Ramu. He uses lightning and swords in battle. I'm thinking white-green. Kind of nature-y, lightning-y. Makes sense to me, at least. Though I could see red, too. Lightning bolts, that sort of thing. Here we have Benedicta Harmon. She's the dominant of Garuda. Wind-based icon. Very fast, uses wind abilities, also uses a sword. Sword. I'm thinking for her, she's green-blue, playing off of her relationship with Sid, but also adding a little of her own wind-based element as well. This strong-looking man is Hugo Kupo. Sorry, I meant Hugo Kupka, not a Moogle. He's a strapping-looking young man, dominant of Titan, the earth-based icon. Big, strong bruiser, very punchy. I'm thinking green-black, just kind of tie into the earth, but also some of his more sinister motives. Just below him, this is Dion Lesage, or Lesage, I don't know. He's the dominant of Bahamut. He's very paladin-esque, but also more akin to a dragoon. He uses jump spells and that sort of thing, uses a lance as a weapon. Red-blue, I think he's the foil for most of the game to Clive, and I think having red in his color identity is really a cool nod to that, but I also want him to have the same color scheme as other Dragoons that we've seen in the other series that I've covered. And finally up here, we've got Barnabas Tharmer. He's the dominant of Odin, uses a sword, go figure, sword, a lot of swords. I could see him being 5 colors, to be honest. I think that could be neat. He's kind of a character in the story. It kind of fits him, I think. He's kind of crafty, so I think 5 colors is what I'm going with for him. And that, my friends, is Final Fantasy XVI. This brings us current as far as the main storylines are concerned. I'm happy to do more of these until they release the rest of the cards. Is there any specific type you'd like to see, right? Whether it be, summons, icons, side characters, like Moogles, Cactuar, that sort of thing. Let me know, please. If you like this sort of stuff, give us a follow. It really means a lot. And yeah, I guess we will see you tomorrow for something. See you then.